Cleaning is something we all have to do. But have you ever wondered how the professionals do it? The people who clean homes for a living day in and day out. I used to think cleaning was all about effort. Just work harder, stay on top of it, and eventually things would feel under control. But the truth is, some things stayed dirty no matter how often I wiped them. Certain spots I'd avoid thinking maybe next time. That's when I started paying attention to the pros and how they clean differently. So in today's video, I'm sharing 12 cleaning tips straight from professional housekeepers. These are not random hacks from the internet. They're real techniques used by people who clean dozens of homes each week. Things they do to save time, get better results, or keep a space looking fresh without burning out. I've tested many of these in my own home, and the difference surprised me. Not because everything looks perfect now, but because cleaning finally feels less frustrating. I know what works, and I don't waste time on what doesn't. If any of these tips make you think, wait, that could actually work in my house, try it and come back to tell me how it went. You might be surprised by how much easier things feel. Let's get into it, starting with a tip to clean walls and doors with a swivel brush. One thing professional housekeepers always do. They clean from top to bottom, and that includes the walls and doors, not just the floors and counters. These spots collect way more dirt than we realize. Think fingerprints near light switches, scuff marks near the bottom of doors, dust along baseboards, and mystery smudges halfway up the hallway, especially if you have kids. The easiest way to clean them is with a swivel head wall brush. It's like a flat mop with an extendable handle designed for vertical surfaces. Just spray on a gentle wall-safe cleaner, even diluted dish soap and waterworks, and wipe from top to bottom in smooth strokes. The swivel head helps you reach high corners without needing a step stool, and you won't strain your back bending down low. If you don't have a wall brush, you can repurpose a clean flat mop. Just make sure the pad is soft and not overly wet. This kind of quick wall and door wipe down doesn't need to be done every day. Once every week or two is enough, especially in high-traffic areas like hallways, bathrooms, and entryways. You'll be surprised how much fresher your space feels afterward. The walls may not have looked dirty, but once they're clean, the whole room feels lighter, like you've cleared a layer of visual noise. It's one of those small shifts that quietly makes a big difference and keeps your home from feeling worn down without adding more to your to-do list. And if you've ever looked around and thought, there's just too much stuff, tomorrow's video is for you. We'll talk about how to start clearing out the clutter, not all at once, but in simple, steady steps that actually work in a real home. But first, let's make the mirrors sparkle without climbing on the counter. The tip number 2 I want to share is using a Swiffer mop to clean mirrors and glass surfaces, especially the tall or hard-to-reach ones. Instead of wiping by hand or using paper towels that leave behind lint and streaks, you can attach a lint-free cloth like a glass polishing towel to the base of a Swiffer. Then spray your glass cleaner directly onto the mirror and wipe it down in smooth, top-to-bottom strokes. The handle helps you reach high spots without stretching or climbing, and the flat cloth gives you even pressure, no bunching, no missed edges, and way less effort. This works especially well in bathrooms on sliding doors or even tall decorative mirrors in entryways. If you don't have a glass cloth, a clean microfiber towel will work too. Just make sure it's smooth and dry. I like to keep one cloth just for glass and store it right with my mop. That way it's easy to grab when the mirrors start looking cloudy or streaky. It's a small shift, but it saves time, protects your arms and shoulders, and gives you that clean, clear finish without the usual frustration. And when mirrors are spotless, everything around them just feels a little brighter. The next tip is to use glass cleaner to polish stainless steel and door handles after you've done your regular wipe down. You don't need a fancy product, just your everyday glass cleaner and a dry cloth. Spray a little onto the cloth, not directly on the surface, then wipe over places like your fridge door, kitchen faucet, drawer handles, or even the microwave buttons. Anywhere that collects fingerprints or gets touched a lot. It doesn't take much effort, just a few swipes, but the difference is instantly noticeable. The surface goes from dull and smudged to clean and shiny, and it gives the whole room a more finished, polished look. I like doing this right at the end of cleaning. After I've done the dishes or wiped the counters, I'll take 30 seconds to shine up the handles and fixtures. It's quick, but it makes me feel like I've really completed the job, not just rushed through it. And you don't have to do every single handle in the house. Just pick the main ones people touch every day. That's usually enough to lift the space and make it feel fresher, even if everything else isn't perfect. It's one of those tiny habits that doesn't feel like a big deal, but over time it makes a real difference. And it's especially nice if you have guests coming over because it gives your space that subtle someone takes care of this place feeling. A few seconds, a bit of glass cleaner, and suddenly your kitchen or bathroom looks a whole lot more put together. The next tip is to refill your Swiffer wet jet bottle with your own cleaner so you can avoid the strong scent or sticky residue that sometimes comes with the original solution. Here's how to do it. Boil some water and carefully place the cap end of the Swiffer bottle into the hot water for a minute or two. This softens the plastic enough to twist the cap off even though it's not meant to be opened. Once it's off, you can rinse the bottle and fill it with whatever floor cleaner you prefer. Some people use a vinegar and water mix. Others use a gentle all-purpose cleaner, or even just warm water with a few drops of essential oil if you're sensitive to scents. This one change makes a big difference. You're not stuck with a strong chemical smell that lingers all day, and you can choose something that actually works better for your floors, especially if you have pets or kids crawling around. Plus, it saves money. Swiffer refills add up quickly, and refilling the bottle yourself lets you use what you already have at home. I like to keep a small funnel nearby to make pouring easier. And once you've cut those little locking tabs inside the cap the first time, it'll open and close easily after that. It's a simple swap, but it gives you more control over what's going onto your floors and into your home. Cleaner floors, no harsh smells, and one less thing to keep buying over and over. The next tip is a great one for the kitchen, especially if your stovetop grates always look greasy or have baked-on grime. Use a mix of kosher salt and vegetable oil to scrub them clean. It might sound strange, but this combo works really well. The salt acts as a gentle abrasive and the oil helps break down the grease without damaging the surface. Here's how to do it. Take the grates off your stove and sprinkle a generous amount of kosher salt over them. Then pour a little bit of vegetable oil right on top. Using a scrub brush or even an old cloth, start scrubbing. The mixture picks up grease stuck on food and dull buildup surprisingly fast. Once you've scrubbed every side, rinse with warm water and wipe dry. If they're really dirty, you might need to repeat it once more, but usually one round does the trick. This method is especially helpful if you don't like using strong degreasers or harsh chemicals. It's also great if you've gone a while without cleaning your stove, no judgment, it happens. You'll notice the metal looks more polished and your stove feels freshly reset. It doesn't make cooking more fun, but it does make the space feel less frustrating. And if you want to keep it clean longer, you can do a mini version of this once a week, just a little salt and a quick wipe after cooking something messy. Simple ingredients, no fancy sprays, and your stove looks like you actually meant to clean it this month. The next tip is to clean grout using toilet bowl cleaner, and if needed, brighten it up with a grout pen afterward. This one's a lifesaver if your grout lines are starting to look dark-stained or just permanently dirty. It works especially well in places like bathroom floors around the tub or behind the toilet, the areas that tend to get neglected. Start by applying a line of toilet cleaner right onto the grout. Let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes so it can break down the grime, then scrub with an old toothbrush or a small scrub brush. You'll probably notice a difference right away. The grout lightens up as you go. But if you've cleaned it and it still looks worn or stained, that's where the grout pen comes in. It's basically a white marker designed to color over old grout lines. Just draw it along the grout, let it dry, and then wipe off any extra that gets on the tile. It takes a little time, but it makes the floor look newer and brighter without a full renovation or regrouting. And you don't have to do the whole space at once. Just try one area, like beside the bathtub. Once you see the difference, you'll want to keep going. The next tip is to get rid of odors and buildup in your sink drain or garbage disposal, using 3 simple things you probably already have: baking soda, white vinegar, and boiling water. If your kitchen sometimes has a strange smell you can't quite place even after you've taken the trash out, chances are it's coming from the drain. Food particles, grease, and soap scum build up over time, and regular rinsing just doesn't cut it. Here's what to do. First, pour about half a cup of baking soda straight into the drain. Then slowly add a cup of white vinegar. It'll fizz up, that's normal. Let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. In the meantime, boil a full kettle or pot of water. Once the time's up, carefully pour the boiling water down the drain to flush everything through. The reaction helps loosen gunk, kill odor-causing bacteria, and freshen up the whole sink area. If you have a garbage disposal, you can do the exact same thing. Just make sure it's turned off before you start. For an extra clean feel, you can even drop in a few small lemon peels afterward and run the disposal with cold water for a few seconds. It's an easy, no-scrub way to deal with hidden smells. And honestly, once you start doing this every couple of weeks, your kitchen will smell fresher even when you haven't cleaned everything else. The next tip is a method called laundry stripping, and it's perfect for towels, gym clothes, or bedding that still smells off even after a regular wash. Over time, laundry builds up layers of detergent, fabric softener, body oils, and even hard water residue. It's the reason some clothes feel clean but never smell fresh, especially thicker fabrics. To do a laundry strip, fill a bathtub or large bin with hot water. Then add 1/4 cup of baking soda, 1/4 cup of borax, 1 scoop of powdered detergent like Tide. Stir until it's dissolved. Then drop in the clean laundry you want to deep clean things that look fine but don't feel fresh anymore. Let them soak for about 4 to 6 hours. Every hour or so, give the clothes a stir to keep things moving. You'll start to see the water change color. And yes, it's kind of gross, but also satisfying. That's the hidden buildup coming out. After soaking, wring everything out and run a normal wash cycle, no detergent needed. Just rinse and spin. This method takes a little time, but it works. Your towels come out fluffier, your clothes smell fresher, and it feels like hitting reset, especially on things you thought were clean enough. You don't have to do this often. Once every few months is plenty. But when you do, it's worth it. The next tip is to make the most of your dishwasher. Not just for dishes, but for all the small things around the house that are hard to clean by hand. Things like toothbrush holders, soap trays, sponge caddies, kids' plastic toys, fridge bins, or even your dish brush. All of these can safely go on the top rack of your dishwasher. They're the kinds of items we usually rinse and forget about, even though they collect gunk, soap scum, and hidden buildup over time. Putting them in the dishwasher saves you the hassle of scrubbing tiny corners and awkward shapes. Here's how to do it. Give each item a quick rinse to knock off any loose gunk, then place them on the top rack spaced out enough so water can reach all sides. If something is especially lightweight, like a small lid or cap, you can wedge it in between heavier items or inside a dishwasher-safe container so it doesn't flip around. Run your usual cycle, no need to change the settings. When it's done, everything comes out clean, sanitized, and ready to go with no extra effort from you. I usually do this once a week just before I run the dishwasher at night. It keeps the little things clean without adding to my to-do list. It's one of those small habits that makes cleaning feel easier because you're using what you already have to get more done without doing more work. The next tip is for something small, but if you use makeup, you'll get it right away. You can quickly clean your eyeshadow palette using a makeup wipe and one of your powder compacts. Over time, eyeshadow fallout collects around the edges of the palette, in between the shades, and across the mirror. It doesn't affect the makeup itself, but it makes everything look messy, especially when you're trying to get ready fast. Here's an easy way to clean it up without picking at it with a tissue or cotton swab. Take a makeup wipe or even a baby wipe and wrap it tightly around the bottom of a powder compact, something small with a flat surface like your blush or bronzer. Then use that wrapped compact like a gentle eraser, sliding it over the dirty areas of your palette. The flat shape gives you more pressure and control, and the wipe picks up the excess powder without making a mess. You can go around the edges under the mirror, or even clean the outside of the palette. This takes maybe 30 seconds, and suddenly your makeup feels nicer to use again without feeling like you're doing a full clean-out. It's a tiny thing, but it's the kind of detail that makes your space and your routine feel more put together, especially if your makeup area is in your bedroom or shared bathroom. A clean palette just feels better. The next tip is a small detail that makes your bed look more put together without any extra cost or effort. Tuck the loose end of your pillowcase into itself so it fits snug and looks neater. You know how pillowcases are often a bit too big. You slide the pillow in and there's a flap of fabric just hanging off the edge. It doesn't look bad, but it does make the bed feel a little sloppy, especially if you like things to look clean but don't want to fuss with decorative pillows. Here's what to do. Once the pillow is inside, take the open end and fold the extra fabric inward, almost like you're wrapping a gift. Then smooth it out with your hands so the edge is flat and tight. The pillow will look like it fits perfectly, no more floppy ends or bunching. This works on both bed pillows and decorative ones, especially if the covers are slightly larger than the inserts. And if you're someone who doesn't iron bedding, most of us don't. This little trick instantly makes things look sharper without doing much at all. It's not about being fancy. It's just about giving your bed a more finished look, like you cared even if you were in a rush. I've started doing this every time I change the sheets, and honestly, it's one of those details I now notice when it's not done. It just feels nicer. The final tip is something super small but surprisingly satisfying. Fold the end of your toilet paper roll into a triangle to make your bathroom feel a little more cared for. This isn't just something hotels do. It actually takes just a few seconds, and it adds a clean, intentional feel to your space even if the rest of the bathroom isn't perfect. Here's how to do it. Take the loose end of the toilet paper and fold both corners in to make a neat point like a triangle. Then, for an optional extra touch, lightly press the folded tip under a running faucet for just a second. The water creates a little seal so the fold stays in place. You don't need to do this every day, maybe just after cleaning the bathroom or if guests are coming over. It's a subtle way of saying, yes, someone's taking care of this space. And honestly, it's not really about the toilet paper. It's about how these little touches, the ones that take 5 seconds, can shift how a room feels. From functional to thoughtful, from fine to fresh. Sometimes when life feels overwhelming or messy, doing something tiny and specific like this helps you feel back in control, even if it's just in the bathroom. It's the smallest tip of the day, but maybe one of the most unexpected. Give it a try, you might love how it feels. That's it for today. 12 simple, realistic cleaning tips from the people who do this for a living. None of these require fancy tools or hours of your time. Just small tweaks, little shifts, and a fresh way of looking at tasks we all do or put off every week. If even one of these helps your home feel a bit calmer or your day feel a little lighter, then this video did its job. And if you're starting to think beyond just cleaning, maybe you're craving more space, more clarity, less stuff, then you'll want to catch tomorrow's video. We'll walk through a full process to help you slowly clear out your home step by step in a way that actually sticks. If you found this video helpful, feel free to share it with a friend, or subscribe for more calm, clutter-free content. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.